Sup, Papas? So I want to get into the story with this Courtney girl, okay? This Courtney girl befriended my youngest daughter, okay? And she's a fucking hot mess. She had an apartment with her boyfriend. She invited Hannah to stay there. This apartment it looked like a hoarder lived there. There was just shit fucking everywhere, apparently. And they got evicted. Courtney and her boyfriend did. And this was a few years ago. And they left their animals there. They just left their animals there. Yeah, abandoned them in the fucking shithole apartment they were living in. So let me tell you something else about Courtney, okay? So, like I said, she befriended, not Charlie, okay? She befriended my youngest kid and then convinced her. She and my daughter called 911 and told them that I was suicidal. Now, when the police came here, I was making potato salad. So I don't know many fucking people that are on the verge of suicide that, hey, hang on a second, let me fucking cook something real quick before I off myself. So the police came here and they're like, we gotta fucking take you, you know? I'm like, all right, fuck. So they didn't take me in the ambulance, you know, they took me in a car. And I went to the emergency room. I was there. It was fucking well under an hour. I spoke with the psychiatrist. He's like, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go call your daughter. I'm like, okay. So he comes back and he goes, I'm letting you go because I believe that your daughter set you up. So he had the police drive me home. And they were very nice. The police officer drove me. He let me sit in the front seat. He didn't tell me to go sit in the back. And they treated me with dignity, and I appreciate that. I really do. You know, I know that there's a fucking lot of cops on some bullshit. Obviously, there's some that are involved in my gang stalking, but there are also, we have to keep in mind that there are police officers out there that actually give a shit. It just seems like they're in the minority, doesn't it? Doesn't it? When we deal with these predatory police officers. And oh, they're out there. They're out there. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. You know, I didn't see a whole hell of a lot of that when I was involved in EMS because, you know, like Chicago, for example, they put you through, now they do. My dad was actually my adoptive dad, Hutch, we'll call him Hutch. He was a Chicago police officer at one point, and then he left. He left and got into construction, but they test these people. They give them psych evals. So, you know, I just didn't see a lot of psycho cops when I was working in EMS, and that's probably why, because they thoroughly test them psychologically before, you know, they put them on. So, not saying that there's not Chicago, because I personally dealt with a fucking psycho Chicago cop, but I'll tell you that as a whole, I really haven't had a fucking ton of problems, you know? Anyway, yeah, so they fucking sent me home. That devastated me. That really fucking did. It really did. She tried to get me fucking locked up. And the thing was my husband and I were separated, and I didn't even know where he was. So I had dogs in here, my dogs, my cats. She didn't give a fuck. Neither one of them cared about what was going to happen to my animals if I got locked up in a psych facility for 30 days. And she was encouraging my daughter to do this. She encourages my daughter and has in the past. I know that for a fact. I don't know about now. I'm sure fucking it hasn't stopped because she's a gang stalker. So in the past, she befriended my daughter, you know, and love bombed her. Oh, here, let me buy you a tattoo. Oh, here, come and stay in my fucking apartment for free. You know, we'll just party up. And, yeah. Encouraged her to treat me like absolute shit. Why? Because she's a perp. What do perps do? They want to break up the family. They want to cause derision within the family. So they infiltrate the family and do so. So yeah, the doctor talked to me. He's like, there's fucking no way. And, you know, it's not like we talked long either. I mean, he could tell that I was stable, and he could tell I wasn't suicidal, you know? Then he talked to my daughter, and then he knew. He fucking, you know, can't fool everybody. And he said that to me. He said, I believe your daughter set you up. And yeah, my daughter's no fucking angel. You guys have heard the video, right? That they keep deleting because they don't want you to know. I love that kid. I really do, despite all that shit. I just have to keep my distance. It's healthier that way. So I don't resent her for that. But, you know, if the feelings weren't there, they couldn't fuck with her, right? So what they do is they find out, you know, what your triggers are, and then they keep pressing that button, right? So they were manipulating her, and I'm sure still are. And Courtney's father, Lisa Marie Godat French's husband, the father would go on rides with my daughter, and they would drive by regularly. They did this, screaming fuck off, asshole, all kinds of shit like that at me. Drive by and fucking scream out the window, both of them. Why? Perp shit, that's why. Oh, won't it be fun to drive by and call your mom a fucking asshole? Here I was sitting here all alone, you know? Fucking, my heart was ripped out by my husband, then my daughter, and then they gotta keep fucking with me. And why? I've talked about this before. Perps want you to commit suicide. So they knew full well what kind of state I was in. I was in one of the darkest points of my life when that was going on. And they're well aware of that because they're perps. I was hanging on by a fucking thread. My dog saved me. My pup. Because after that, I was like, oh my God, fuck this. I had to dig deep to find reasons to wake up in the morning after all that shit. After finding out about my husband, and then my daughter did that shit to me, and that's not the only fucking thing she did to me during that time. She did some other fucking shit. And it hurt. It hurt a lot. So the Frenches just kept rubbing salt in those wounds, man. But now look at, now they're exposed for what they are. White supremacist gang stalkers. Racist, white supremacist gang stalkers, the French family of Chesterton, with ties to the KKK, with ties to community-oriented policing, which is organized gang stalking, which is the surveillance and slow killing of innocent American citizens. It is the constant 24/7 harassment of targets, psychological harassment, physical harassment with directed energy weapons. Oh yeah. Now everyone knows, Courtney. Now they all know what you and your fucking family are about, even if my kid hasn't figured it out yet. Hopefully she has. Hopefully she beats the fuck out of you, you fucking piece of shit.